Live 3 miles apart on the Lawrence Corridor in Chicago, it's
Semi regular
regular Wednesday.
Wednesdays.
It's our last show of 2020 with our special guests, comedian Jessica Rotondi, magician Edd Fairman, plus me and Lasky, Amelia Ritthaler, and our good friend Brian Sebby. And now, two guys whose COVID relief came in Pepsi points, Flower Shop Bangers.
Woohoo! How's it going, Stuart?
Good, good. How was your Christmas?
It was good. Yeah, no, just a little bit of family time and very low key, very low numbers, as things generally are these days. How was yours?
Absolutely. I was, I would say, as low key as it normally is. I basically hung out with my sister out in Downers Grove.
Gotcha.
Uh, those of you who don't know us, we're both originally from the Chicago area. And those of you who have tuned in for the first time, Dan and I are the Flower Shop Bangers. We are an improv duo based off Chicago. We have been performing together for almost 8 years.
That is correct.
We have been producing shows in one way, shape, or form for about 4.5.
Hmm.
And we've been doing Zoom shows pretty much every Sunday and Wednesday throughout the pandemic. So about 9.5 months now. Well, happy almost New Year to everyone. This is our last show of the calendar year. We'll be back on, well, after this show, we'll be back on Sunday, January 3rd. Complete new year, new outlook. Hopefully, we were able to get rid of this compound hernia of a year, really, and start anew. But before I start griping or navel gazing, Dan, if you could say a few words about some of the small businesses we're supporting, as well as some ongoing fundraisers.
Yes. So if you look at the banner below, you'll see just kind of a rotating cast of images. These are all things that we think deserve your support at this time. So first, there is a GoFundMe organized by the comedian Chris Redd. Chris Redd is trying to raise money for people who were affected by COVID-19 or who were at Black Lives Matter's protests who were affected by COVID-19. He wants to help try to cover their medical costs if they happen to contract the disease. And second, there is the bar that Stuart and I you do the show at. It is Shakers on Clark. Shakers on Clark actually just got a new location. We just got the word they're moving right next door. And apparently they're getting a new stage, and they also are, but they still aren't open. So they are losing income still, even with the new space. And so if you look in the description to this event, you'll find a link to the GoFundMe for them. And so if you are at home and you have an alcoholic beverage or any kind of beverage in your hand, or you just want to donate money to Shakers to try to help tip their bar staff, you can. Third, there is a really great gym that I go to personally. It is called Bodi Shak. Bodi Shak offers really great fitness classes. It is also a Black-owned business. I have a link in the description to both their GoFundMe as well as the place to sign up for classes. Currently, they don't really have fitness classes available, but they are offering, like space just to work out and use the equipment and are limiting the numbers significantly. Last and certainly not least, there is First Sip Cafe. First Sip Cafe is a really great coffee and tea shop in the Asia and Argyle community in Chicago. I visit there pretty frequently, and they have really great coffee and tea drinks. Highly recommend if you're ever in the area, and I have a link in the description to get gift cards. So if any of those are not local to you for whatever reason, if you don't live near me, because these are all very close to me, then I just recommend you go and support your own local businesses that happen to be close to you, because there are many places that are struggling right now, and they could all use our support. Back to you, Stuart.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dan. And I have to admit, I'm a little nervous and a little excited about the new Shaker space.
Yeah,
To my understanding, it's one building to the north on Clark. I think that's where that Mexican restaurant used to be, I think.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yeah.
really? Okay, that Killer Margaritas restaurant?
Yeah, because Killer Margaritas only takes up half the space now.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah, they moved everything to the one side of the restaurant. I guess it was kind of like a rent thing.
Hmm.
But in any case, that is excellent news for Shakers. It's weird because just as we got the hang of that space that we had at the old Shakers location,
Mm-hmm.
hey, they're moving into a brand new one. So
Yeah.
Yeah, fingers crossed something special comes out of that. And Shakers King, we hope to see you again very soon. The sooner the better, frankly. You've been very kind to us over the years. Um, Nevertheless, we have a really fun show for you this evening. We have a mix of stand-up comedy. We have improv, obviously, courtesy of the Fall Show Bangers, and we have magic. This is a little bit of a Christmas gift to Dan and myself. We've been trying to book a magician for years. I can't tell you what a Sisyphean effort it has been to try and book someone who is a master of the art of illusion. And we finally have one tonight. So I'm really pumped for that. With that said, we have a pretty jam-packed show for you tonight. Obviously, closing out the night are the Flower Shop Bangers.
Woohoo!
We'll do a 15-minute improv set. Right before the Bangers, out of New York, we have comedian Jessica Rotondi.
Woo!
Right before JR, we have magician Edd Fairman.
Woohoo!
Right before Ed, we're going to have Amelia Ritthaler out of New York. Then before that, we have Brian Sebby. Good for Brian Sebby. And leading us off is a comedian based out of Los Angeles. He is the host and producer of Funny Fun Friday, every Friday on Zoom. Please welcome to our show, Ian Lasky.
Thank you so much for having me. Oh, this is so much fun being in a show here, and I can now say I've been to Chicago, but no, it's weird. I just to give you a little bit of background, I grew up in the Los Angeles area in a small little town called Burbank, and that town is weird. That they have an international airport, yet everybody hates airplanes. They're like, if that plane flies over my house one more time, it disturbs my cat. It's a weird society, because in that city, half that town is progressive, and half that town thinks it's 1947. You have they have a Black Lives Matter movement, but there's no black people in it because it's an all-white neighborhood. But they yell at the All Lives Matter movement from across the street, and then they go grab a beer. That's kind of how that's what they do there. There is a high school. I went to high school there. They have a mascot, patterned after an Indian, a Native American. They call themselves the Indians, and there are people trying to change it because it's a little racist. But they're how is it racist? And I go, well, a bunch of white people dressing up in headdresses to go woo 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 at football games. It's a little insensitive, don't you think? So I got out of there and I moved to Victorville. Oh my God, that place is a shithole. I lived there for 10 freaking years. That place is horrible. Think Austin area, but like 10 million times worse. It's like Garfield Park on drugs. It's like Victorville is about 100 miles away, and Hollywood goes there to shoot horror films. They go there to shoot horror films because they don't even have to, pay any of the extras. They just take their cameras and shoot, just point them at random buildings. That's what they have to do. Victorville is like the founding of Victorville was the season premiere of The Walking Dead. Right now we're in season 6. We don't know if Carl's going to die or not. No, it's horrible. There's a guy that that sits on the outskirts of Victorville, warning people not to go to Victorville. Don't go to Victorville. There's evil in Victorville. And when you get there, they're proud of it. Hollywood shoots horror films out there. They're like, did you know that film pioneer came here in 1974? Film pioneer Wes Craven came here to shoot The Hills Have Eyes. Yeah, I know. You look like their grandkids. It's crazy. And they don't even take dollars in Victorville. It's a different universe. They just trade meth. That's what they do. I got a pair of shoes at the Victor Valley Mall for 28 meth. That's how bad it is. There's a sign on the Victor Valley Mall that says walkers after 9 a.m. So I knew to get out of there. It's just terrible. There is I've seen enough Walking Dead to know what that means. There is I used to teach in Victorville. I'm a teacher. I was a teacher there, and that place, oh my God, that was a horrible, very, very rough place. While the kids are standing in line, the teachers are doing lines. That's how bad it is. They don't even teach. They don't even teach math homework in Victorville because you don't need it. They're going to drop out in the 8th grade anyway. They're they're gonna they teach meth homework. That's what they do. You know, they're really good with the metric system. You know, because you have to be able to survive in the society that you're gonna stay in. How much is like you need to be able to transfer between meds, lids, and dime bags and kilos. It's weird. They have a United Methodist Church in Victorville, and the only reason why anyone goes is, well, meth is in the name. They don't even realize it's a church. They think it's a convention center because they read the sign and they go, "Meth do dist. We do dis here." Okay, I'm like, all right, guys, I brought the meth. What do we do? Cut it with racism and intolerance? And that's because that's what that place is. There's a one guy that goes down the only street with a stoplight. The one street with a stoplight, and he starts yelling out random things about Obama. You're living in an Obama nation. And I'm like, dude, it's 2021. Biden's president, you idiot. And so he's a fraud. I go, yeah, just get over it, Snowflake. I mean, just, geez Louise, people are weird. And it's just terrible. There is, I'm Jewish, and they do have, and if I wanted to exercise in Victorville, all I have to do is step outside and put my yarmulke on and wait for some skinhead to chase me around. There is a temple in Victorville, and it was founded by a bunch of disillusioned Christians that wanted to go back to their roots. And so they decided to name it. They wanted to name it Temple of the High Desert, and they named it Congregation Bamidbar Shel Mahala, which means Temple of the Desert High, which is appropriate because it's Victorville. I've been married twice. My first wife left me after 7.5 years of marriage because she goes, "No offense, Ian, you're a teacher. You make $13 an hour. I got me a man that makes $14 an hour. I'm going to be a trophy wife." I was like, but I don't think you got that's not really the definition. I think you need to set your sights a little higher. But and I talk shit about her. But after about 5 years, I found that I became a trophy wife myself. So I think it's the best thing on the planet. Everybody should be a trophy wife. My God, it's amazing to have someone pay for you for everything. My wife bought me a Tesla. She bought me a Tesla so that it would, be better to be seen with me in public because my previous car was a dump. Like that thing is amazing. It gets 0 to 60 tickets in 4.5 seconds. The police have me on a list, or like they sent me a letter for Christmas. "Thank you for your generous donation. Because of you, we can buy a Kia crossover for a K9 unit." I was like, this is where the Karen came out. I was like, Kia crossover for a K9 unit? I mean, doesn't that thing go to 0 to 60 in 2.5 years? At one point, does it just make sense to stop the car and let the dog make the arrest? If I see a Kia crossover for a K9 unit, I'm just going to pass right by them. I'm going to speed by them and Black Lives Matter as I'm going by, because what are they going to do? Are they going to, pull me over? I mean, are they going to chase me down with their Toyota Priuses? I mean, seriously, are they going to hunt me down with Lego helicopter and send me to, jail in Victorville? Oh shit, I shouldn't go there. They'll mess with me in Victorville. It's just terrible, just terrible. Let's see. In California, we have a James Bond villain. He's called Elon Musk. The guy's like, "I will take my factory and move to, Texas if you don't let me open." And then, and I'm sure that Governor Newsom's all like a James Bond villain going, "So, Governor Newsom, he's all like, "So, Governor Newsom, you shut down my factory. I'm going to build a tunnel under your mansion." This guy is a James Bond. He's already been a James Bond villain. He sent a car into space. He sent a car into space so he could impress space aliens. What kind of crazy nuttiness is that? I'm sure if it's like an intelligent race comes here from another planet and another world going, "Oh, so, all the humans, we're in the Milky Way galaxy. This place is a dump. They just leave their cars flying all over the place. What is that? Is that an S? Wow, it has ludicrous mode. Wow, I think that XEA-12, his son's name, is really a code to a nuclear device. That's got to be, because it's just him. I love you guys. Thank you so much. I'm Ian Lasky.
Ian Lasky, everyone. Thank you so much, Ian. We sincerely appreciate it. So a couple of pieces of business before we move on to our next act. Dan and I try to make the show as interactive as possible. It's obviously a bit tricky doing that on Zoom. So, where we would normally do a little bit of crowd work when we were at Shakers, on Zoom, we tend to check in with our Facebook Live audience. Dan, our lovely webmaster, how's the feed looking tonight?
Yeah, it looks great. I thought I'd give a shout out to the man who goes by Muddy Waters on Facebook. I'm pretty sure his name's Ron, our old buddy at the Improv Zoo way back when. Hey, Ron, how's it going? Actually, you know what? I'm seeing other people chime in. I'm seeing Brian Sebby, who's actually performing tonight, I think in just a minute, as well as Mitch Kessler. Mitch is watching. So thank you all for watching. And can't wait to see you all in person, I guess.
Okay. Well, thank you so much to everyone who's tuning in. Also, if you have missed any part of the show so far, this whole show will be archived on the Flower Shop Bangers Facebook page right after this show ends, which will probably be around 8:20 Chicago time this evening. With that said, and I'm going to be bringing up Shakers quite a bit this evening. When Dan and I moved to Shakers almost 2.5 years ago, we began a campaign to save Chicago barprov. So barprov is a portmanteau for bar improv. Basically free comedy shows in a bar, but not necessarily exclusive to just improv. It's an opportunity to do stand-up, it's an opportunity to do sketch, putz around a little bit, but it is mostly rooted in improv. And I would say the early and mid 2010s were kind of the peak of Chicago barprov. Dan and I first cut our teeth at the Underground Lounge in Wrigleyville. But there used to be shows at bars like Mullins and drawing a blank here, AJ Hudson's, the Horseshoe, Crocodile Lounge, and one by one these shows started getting canceled, or these bars started going into business. And also, I think partially because of that, but partially because of other things, people just started going in a different direction. So when we were given the opportunity to move our show to Shakers in July 2018, the very concept of barprov had its back against the wall. And we wanted to be kind of that tent pole for seeing free comedy in a bar that was not exclusive to stand-up comedy. I mean, there are plenty of bar open mics, of course, but something about barprov that's a little more inclusive and perhaps even a little unique. And as an incentive for our Save Chicago Barprov campaign, we have set up this improv tip jar. Yes, there is change inside this tip jar. And if you are enjoying our show this evening, you are plenty welcome to donate to our tip jar virtually. My Venmo and Dan Venmo, is it?
I'll put it up there right now. Sorry.
Okay, it's fine. I always do this kind of out of order. I always do it differently.
Yeah, there it is.
But if you would like to donate to our show tonight, you are welcome to donate to either my Venmo or Dan's Venmo. We're not competing. All the money, I should say, will be split evenly. At the moment, we have about $18 in the tip jar, which means that split 6 ways, all of our performers tonight are going home with $3 a piece.
Woo!
We did not tell any of our performers this evening that this was a paying gig. Just keep contributing to the tip jar. And if just think with $3, you can that'll pay for about 1 minute and 20 seconds of one class of Second City. Keep the tips coming. We appreciate your support and we appreciate that you keep tuning in. We wouldn't be doing this without you. Without further ado, our next act. We first met our next act at One Group Mind about 7 years ago. He was a teammate of mine on a team called Kelly Machiavelli, which ran for just a shade under 3 years. He is originally from the Chicago suburb of Lisle, and is part of, well, nowadays he's part of Inner City Improv, which you can find at Facebook, or I should say at facebook.com/innercityimprov. It's a long form jam. It's held weekly. And he is also part of the Unwritten Shakespeare Company.
The Unwritten Works of William Shakespeare. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Sorry. The Unwritten Works of William Shakespeare, which is a improvised Shakespeare troupe, also based out of the west suburbs of Chicago.
Out of West
It is a pleasure to have in our show, Brian Sebby.
Thank you. So this grew out of actually a side conversation at one of our inner city nights, which was, I wonder what it would be like if a Dalek did stand up. So I present to you Dalek stand up. It's super dumb, but I hope you like it. I just flew in from Skaro, and boy, are my propulsive jets tired.
Oh my God.
It was a joke. My components are indestructible. When I was a young Dalek, I did not always keep my cubicle in perfect shape. One day during inspections, the creator stopped before me and demanded that I clean my cubicle. I exclaimed, "You are Davros, not my Dadros." I was severely punished. As part of my punishment, Davros has demanded that I perform the joke he has written. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
The doctor.
Doctor Who.
The doctor is here. What? Alert, alert, exterminate, exterminate. Oh, I believe that Davros has punked me. I demand you applaud Davros's joke. I shall now attempt the limerick form. There once was a Dalek from Skaro who killed and caused nothing but sorrow. His enemies met their fate after hearing exterminate, as I turned them to ash and to char. Oh, I was once part of an invasion force that was sent to exterminate Florida. Unfortunately, we chose to invade during hurricane season and were driven off by an oncoming storm. The joke is that is what we call the doctor. What is the deal with airline food? That is a serious question. All of our nutrients are provided as a protein-dense sludge, so I do not understand what airline food is. A Zygon, a Suntaran, and the doctor walked into a bar. They were exterminated! One area of disagreement between me and my wife is punctuality. When we were to leave for a party, I am ready at least 5 rels before we should go. My wife, however, does not believe that we must arrive at the designated time. The last time we were invited to a party, it was 8 rels past our designated departure time, and I told her if she was not ready in 2 rels, I would contact the extermination squad. After 3 more rels had passed, and she was still not ready, I contacted the extermination squad and said, "Take my wife, please." Thank you. That has been my time. Now clap, or you will be exterminated. Exterminate, exterminate, exterminate. That's it. Thanks, Stu.
Brian Sebby, everyone! Thank you. We appreciate that, Sebby. And that humor just hits me right in the sweet spot because I'm also a foodie. So that's I love all like the little usual references. Anyway, I'm dwelling. So before we get to our next act, I want to mention that first of all, I want to shout out to whoever added me to a Facebook group called Displaced Comedians, because it has been very fruitful to how we've been running our show. We've been booking acts left and right that we've never met before, that from pretty much every nook and crevasse of the world, mostly the United States and Canada, but every cities where I didn't even realize there was even a stand-up scene. And given that this is our last show of 2020, I guess we've kind of set up kind of an unofficial campaign of new for 21 this coming month, where I believe, based on how we've scheduled the show, we have at least 2 acts in every show in this coming month that is brand new, an act that we've never had in our remote show before. Most of these people we have never met in person. Most of them are not in Chicago. So please make sure to check that out. Again, we do this every Sunday and Wednesday. Also, I'm pleased to announce that next Wednesday is our 75th remote show. And to celebrate the milestone is going to be one of our theme shows. It is going to be an all New Jersey night. We're going to have 5 different stand-ups from the Garden State, including our friend Robert Rule. So please make sure to check that out. Nevertheless, we still have an excellent show for you tonight. And this is the thing that I'm absolutely excited for. He is a magician based out of Chicago. He is originally from Armonk, Pennsylvania, whose town slogan is, "If you're driving to New Florence, you're too far north." I guess it just barely qualifies as a Pittsburgh suburb. He is a really phenomenal man of illusion. You can find him all over social media as Wizard of Sorts, Instagram Wizard of Sorts, and his website is wizardofsorts.com. Please welcome to our show, Edd Fairman.
I just had a tech issue.
That's okay. By the way, just a reminder to everyone again that if you have missed any part of the show so far, it'll be saved on Facebook Live right after this show ends. It'll be all saved and archived, the whole kit and caboodle. You can also like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/flowershopbangers. All one word.
All right. Can anybody hear me now?
Yes.
All right. So sorry, I had a tech issue there. My mic pack died. It's the first.
Oh, no.
First. All right. Well, welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Edd Fairman. I am the Wizard of Sorts. What sorts? I have absolutely no idea. Hopefully, we'll figure that out in the next 10 minutes or so. Now, normally in a magic show, I would have you reach out and touch a card and take a card and pick a card, but you're there and I'm here. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick a card for you. I picked a, well, let's see. There we go. Hang on one second. Let me get the, there we go. I picked the card for all of you there. I picked the Ace of Hearts. I picked it largely because it's the first card on the top of the deck and it was easy to get to. I'm going to put that right there for you. And I'm going to pick a card for myself. I picked the Joker. I like the Joker because, well, he's an environmentalist. He rides on a bicycle. He's a snappy dresser. And the number one thing is he has money. Yes, he is everyone's dream. Come to my house. Now, if you, of course, are like me and live in a late capitalist society, you also like some money. And, well, I could end up with your Ace of Hearts and you could end up with my Joker. Now, sometimes when I say that, people say, well, Ed, how did you do that? And of course, when a magician does a trick and you ask a magician, how did you do that? The magician has to say, I can't tell you. But we are in the season of giving, so I am going to give you a little bit of a clue. I actually have all of you now under a deep hypnotic trance. Oh, I know you don't believe me, but I can prove it. And Daniel does not know I was going to do this. Ha! Good. Daniel, do me a favor. Just name a card out loud. Any card in the deck of cards out loud.
2 of clubs.
The 2 of clubs. Thank you so very much. Daniel, you picked a very specific card. Obviously, the 2 of clubs. Let's get that on the screen. But I didn't make you pick that 2 of clubs. In fact, you picked the only card in this deck with any writing on it, which was very nice of you to do. But I did, of course, make you do that because, like I said, I have you under a deep hypnotic trance. Now, to make you pick the 2 of clubs, though, I did need to signal to you in some way during the hypnotic trance. So during the earlier trick, I actually flashed that card at you. I know you didn't see it, but well, it was only the back of it because, well, they're marked cards. I'm sorry, I shouldn't tell you that. I shouldn't tell you that they are marked cards. See, subtle little differences in the back design allow me to know which card is which. Once I know which card I need you to pick, well, I just make you pick it. Now, most people would not pick a card that says pick me on the back with 3 exclamation points, but obviously Daniel is under a deep hypnotic trance. Now, can't keep you under a hypnotic trance for long because it's not good for you. So I must erase the hypnosis from your mind. Here we go. Erase, 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 erase. Not that side. It erases that side. And just to prove that you're out of the hypnosis, I bring all of those right back the way you started. Hey, let's get a nice round of applause for our helper, our technician, half of the Flower Shop Bangers, Daniel over there on my screen. He's right there. There he is on my screen. He's right where. There you are, Daniel. Here, I'll shake your hand. Nicely done, sir. Nicely done. Now, a lot of people have picked up hobbies over the quarantines. I have, obviously, I do magic. That's not a hobby for me anymore because, well, that's what I do. So I actually picked up a different hobby. I myself have actually been playing, I've been playing a little trumpet. Yeah, it's a little trumpet. It's a prop joke. I know. I just wasted your time with a prop joke, and I don't care because I'm so happy that I have a tiny trumpet. It's the dumbest thing I own. My friend gave me that. The other half of my I do an adult, not adult like grown up. Sorry. I do a comedy magic show for adults called Magic Canery. And my friend John Sturk, the other half of Magic Canery, gave me that tiny trumpet. And it just makes me laugh so hard. And you have to use the little things in life. You know, I would have somebody else pick a card, but what the heck? We'll just stick with Daniel's 2 of clubs. Now, I know during that last trick, you probably said to yourself, Ed, you didn't shuffle the cards during the entire trick. And it's absolutely true. If you notice that, good for you. Because I did not shuffle those cards the entire time during that trick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give these cards a shuffle. Most people would shuffle the cards like this. I'm not most people. I'm going to go ahead and just shuffle the cards like this, face up into face down. So we have cards going different directions. There we go. Make sure you can see that they are definitely very much interleaved together. Yes, interleaved. That's one of those great crossword clues. We got cards that are front to back. We have cards that are back to back, and we have cards that are back to front. And I'm sure somewhere in there we have cards that are front to front. But as long as I know that magic word, boy, I hope this works. Yes, and all those cards right back the direction they started. Well, minus Daniel's card, that too. And not only that, because that's something I just take a lot of medication for, I went ahead and put all these back too. So I got ace through king of hearts, ace through, well, missing the 2, obviously, king of clubs, king through ace of diamonds, and king through ace of spades, all back in new deck order. Thank you very much, everyone. You can put your hands together. I can't see you or hear you, but it makes me feel better if I say it. Plus, I believe it's required. I believe it is required by the Magicians Union to say, put your hands together at least once per show. I totally didn't look at the clock when I started because I was plugging in my microphone. So if somebody wants to drop in the chat how long I have left or just hold up fingers, we'll move on to the next thing. So, I don't know. I'm sorry?
Yeah, about 5 minutes.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. It's a very casual show. It's that post-holiday sort of malaise, I guess you'll call it. Boy, my Pittsburgh accent came out there all of a sudden post-holiday. Oh my God, you guys. Oh yeah, and Armaugh is not a suburb of Pittsburgh. It's about 55 miles from Pittsburgh, and it's a town of 97 people. But thank you for the very local New Florence joke. That was for one person in the entire world. That was very nice. I thought I wrote obscure jokes for very narrow audiences. Nope, Stu's beating me to that one. So I don't know how many of you have ever been on the red line during a Cubs home game. Yeah, I know sports. I can talk sports. But you'll actually see on the train occasionally a guy with a board turned up, a little board, and he'll have a 3 little caps, and he'll have a little fuzzy green bauble. I don't know. It's a little fuzzy green thing. It used to be a pea that molded, obviously, very badly because now it's very fuzzy and green. It's a little green fuzzle. I don't know what it is, but it's a scam. It's a scam they run called the shell and pea game, or the cap and pea, or cups and balls and stuff like that. I wanted to give all of you a demonstration today of how a couple of those fun little con things work. So I'm going to show you. This is a dice cup. You may know about this from Yahtzee, or when you used to play Yahtzee with grandma, or when you used to shoot dice with grandma out on the curb. Either way, depends on where you grew up. And then, of course, if this is a dice cup, then this is a dice. No, it's a die because English is stupid. 1 die, 2 dice, 1 mouse, 2 mice, 1 fish, 2 mooses. I don't know. But the die can be in one of 3 places. It can either be underneath the cup, it can be in my hand, or it can be in my pocket. Now I could stand up and show you. Well, I guess I'm going to have to now. Stand up and show you my pocket, turn this out. Boy, glad I wore pants today. This would have been the bearable show not to wear pants. I would have had to use that other pocket. All right. So the die can be in one of three places: under the cup, in my hand, or in my pocket. We're going to play a little game. You could play along at home or at the library, wherever you happen to be watching this. Are libraries even open right now? I don't think they are. The die goes in the cup. You can see the die in the cup. You can hear the die in the cup. Watch very carefully. I kind of do kind of sneaky, kind of fast. You say to yourself, you say, Ed, where is the die? Did he move it fast enough? Did he get it in his hand? No, he did not get it in his hand. Is he good enough to get it in his pocket? No, he's not good enough to get it in his pocket. So it must be under the cup. Yeah, it's a process of elimination. It's a process of elimination. We'll do it again. Here, die goes in the cup. Listen, you can hear the die in the cup. I'll do it nice and slow for those of you who aren't paying attention. Excellent. Oop, keep it in frame. Now, you're going to ask yourself, is the die in his hand? Of course, it's not in his hand. That's where he wants you to say where it is. He'll say, well, is it in his pocket? No, it's not in my pocket because I'm not good enough to get it in my pocket. It's actually under the cup. I don't know how I did that. Actually, I do know how I did that. I do know. And I'll tell you. I cheat terribly. Yes, I cheat terribly. Yeah, it's not fair. It's not nice. See, I can make that die look like it's one place, but it's really somewhere else, okay? It's hidden in my other fingers. Look, see, it looks like it goes in this hand, but really it falls out the back, right? And not a good shot. Try that again. There we go. You can see it fall. And it looks like it's in this hand, but it's really in this hand. So if you say it's in the cup, I can open my hand, I can reach in my pocket, pull it out. If I go like this, you say, oh, it's in my hand. Watch this. This is really cool. I can make it look like it's in the cup. I lift up the cup while holding the die, leave it on the table. You do it fast enough, it looks like it came out from underneath the cup. Great thing about cameras, no depth. Yeah, it does it. Here we go. Do it again. Fair and square. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Here we go. Ooh, move my other hand out of the shot. You can see it go in there. It goes in there. Ask yourself, where is the die? Of course, you're going to say in my pocket, but it's not in my pocket. No, in fact, it's underneath the cup because I cheat terribly. Yeah, I use 2 dice. Well, that one, I don't think that's quite the same. No, that one's a little bit bigger. Yeah, that's how it uses 1 gigantic dice and 1 gigantic die and 1 regular dice. I'm confused by plural things. That's all right. Well, that's my time. It's been a great pleasure being here with all of you. Thank you so much. Please have a happy, safe New Year and wash your hands.
Edd Fairman, everyone. Oh, man, God, that was incredible. Thank you.
Thank you.
I was gonna say, I was half expecting card tricks, but stuff with die, I mean, okay, that's a paradigm shift for me. Thank you. Dan, let's take a quick check-in with our Facebook Live feed, see if anyone has any questions or comments or concerns.
Yeah, I don't see any concerns, unfortunately, but fortunately. But I do see. Let's see. I thought I'd give a shout out to Mark Romanowski. He and I'm guessing Jordan's watching with him at home. And I also thought I'd give a shout out to Thomas Muslaney, who is really enjoying the magic show.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much. Also, we received a $20 tip. So thank you, Autumn, for the tip. So now we have $38 in the pot. Everyone's going home with at least $6.33.
Woo!
Without further ado. Oh, sorry, I need to look at my notes here. Oh, all right. I said what I needed to say. All right. Our next comedian is originally from Long Island, New York, and is presently based in New York City. We first had her in our Producers Summit show in early July. It has been far too long. Please welcome back to our show, Jessica Rotondi.
Hi, guys. Oh, I'm sorry. I have the picture with my boyfriend. Let me take that off. He's really busy, so we find different ways to, kind of bond with each other. So hi, I'm Jessica Rotondi. You guys might recognize me from my 20-year illustrious acting career. And yes, I am in my childhood home. That's why you see the, drugstore photo collage, Yeah, so you might recognize me from my 20-year illustrious acting career. I was in Law and Order. Oh, I started as a 3-year-old. That's why I am as young as I look. Don't worry. I was in Law and Order SVU, and Law and Order Criminal Intent as a dead body. I don't know what it is about me that just screams like every ethnically ambiguous dead lady in New York, but I've got the market cornered, you guys. It's just me and this narcoleptic lady from Jersey City. She fakes dead really well. But one of these days I'm going to get a line, because now I think I would be perfect for, the ethnically ambiguous lady that doesn't know how to use Zoom, like, hi, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? I don't know why it feels like if you go closer to the screen, you can like tell someone a secret, but I continually make that mistake, so hopefully I'll get some new roles. I'm going to let you guys in a little secret. I don't know, hopefully there's some people on Facebook that will see this and be understanding. I used to be a dominatrix in New York, and that's how I met Stuart. He was one of my clients. But yeah, thanks. I'm so glad that we've reconnected in more proper circumstances. Yeah, I think people often get surprised though that I am, was a dominatrix. I don't really have like a dominatrix face or something. But I've always been open-minded and I've always been broke, so just add Craigslist to that equation and the world is your oyster, But I think I look like I should be serving breadsticks at the Olive Garden, not like beating men up with breadsticks, And yes, food fetishes are real and they are absolutely disgusting and very dirty. And that's why I did retire. But luckily, with everything going on, I'm now able to do, Zoom S&M sessions, which are much more cleaner. Life's been absolutely crazy. Obviously, I'm actually back home on Long Island for the first time in months. I was tested multiple times. Don't worry. And my mom basically thought she'd give me this little Christmas present of putting all my old headshots across from my bed where I sleep. So as I'm trying to fall asleep, I not only have gotten to relive 20 years of aging, but I've got to calculate that I have spent $7,000 on headshots, you guys, and only gotten a few paid gigs, 2 of which were dominatrix jobs. So literally, that's why I'm applying to more dominatrix jobs. My mom is driving me back into S&M, all because she started using Pinterest, and that's where she gets her ideas from now. Don't let your mom use Pinterest. It's really weird. She does very strange things. While I've been here, I've also, because I think it's, 2020 and life is so weird. I've had those moments of like, how have I gotten here? How am I the person that I am? And I found some answers this week in my mom's medicine cabinet. Anyone watching out there, hopefully women will remember, guys, you might remember the fabulous products of Nair. And guys, if you're confused, Nair meant no hair. That's what the name means. It's a really complicated marketing scheme. But I saw this one product in my mom's medicine cabinet and all these memories came back. And it's the facial hair bleach by Nair. Because if there's anything that's really helping an awkward 14-year-old girl with an olive complexion, it's a blonde mustache, Also, why didn't anybody tell me? I just got my braces off. I was in my prime and fucking Nair ruined 9th grade for me. Also, blonde hair is still Nair. It's still hair Nair. So on top of everything else, you're fucking liars, okay? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a little emotional about this. But yeah, it's been good to get a break from things here in Long Island, because even with, most of my interactions being over Zoom or text, life has just been getting weirder and weirder. Like, I don't know if people are just getting more socially awkward because they're not spending time with people, but in the last week, I've gotten such strange messages. I had this ex of mine message me that he just went to a professional pimple popper, which I didn't even know was a thing. And then he sent me like a winky face, like that was supposed to be cute. And then I had this ex coworker of mine that we were like enemies, send me like a you up text. And then I had this random guy I met once at a bar text me shit and basically ask if we could meet up. And when I say shit, I mean a literal picture of shit. I don't know. I don't know how, but somehow 2020 has literally made dating even lowered the fucking bar on dating. That's what's going on here. I'm assuming, because this is, a little bit of a, I was going to say international show, but I'll just say national show. Hopefully there's some people here who have been to LA or who live in LA. I've spent some time in LA, and there's a lot of interesting differences between LA or New York. Like instead of pizza, they have tacos there, and instead of like going to delis at all hours in New York, you go to like gas stations to get snacks there, and instead of like everybody there being like desperate for human contact. You know, everybody in New York is desperate to be left the fuck alone. As you can tell, I wrote this joke before, you know, quarantine. But you really see this like the first 2 minutes of like every Lyft ride in LA, like 90% of the drivers in the first 2 minutes very excitedly ask you, do you have a big night planned? Like wanting to know your answer. And, you know, it's like, it's 7:30 on a Monday. I got a Lyft so I didn't have to talk to anybody. And my destination is freaking Trader Joe's. So you do the math. Also, why can't you be screaming on your speakerphone in a foreign language? Those are the men I want to be friends with. Okay. I'm sorry. It's not racist. It's just what happens in New York. And I just like unavailable men, apparently. Another one of the differences that I would see, you know, is the cat calling. Cause I lived in West Hollywood in LA, which is kind of like, I'm not sure, you know, what it's like in Chicago, but it's kind of like in New York, like if Chelsea and Hell's Kitchen had a baby, you know, like a really gay baby, it's a really gay part of town, you know, West Hollywood. So I didn't get catcalled there, but I would like watch as the men did and sort of like reminisce over my, you know, favorite catcalls in New York to feel good about myself. But thankfully, I actually had one recently, you know, when we started going out again a little bit this summer, as I was walking past this older gentleman who was walking with a cane, either because of his weight or his age, because they were both pretty up there. As he passed me, he said, "Nice tits." But like when we locked eyes, he almost was like shocked he said it, you know, like he didn't realize it came out of his mouth. But still, my inner dominatrix and Sicilian had to come out. And I was like, hey, you're old enough to be my dad and you're fat. I never fat shame you guys. It was just my dominatrix side. And he very sadly said, but I'm trying to lose weight. Only I would get the sensitive cat caller of New York, you know, but it, you know, it all worked out because naturally he's my boyfriend now. It's so hard to find, you know, a really sensitive man. And because of quarantine, I don't even have to spend any time with him, you know, and he's paying for us to be on Weight Watchers together. So it's sort of like the gift that just keeps on giving. So yeah, besides, you know, all the other normal weird stuff for 2020, I've had some really random stuff. One of my old friends works for a production company and, you know, besides being a dominatrix and a comedian, I also am a screenwriter. And she asked me if I'd want to write a script for Lifetime. Now, as you guys can probably tell, I'm not really a Lifetime girl. I'm more of like a Red Shoe Diaries, like Skinamax, but with a story, you know, like something sexy. So I've had to really, you know, really kind of dig deep and find different sides of myself to write this script. But, you know, I think that it's going to work out because I'm going for this like, you know, dominatrix with a heart of gold kind of thing that, you know, gets the love that she wants and gets to beat him up. So it's kind of like, you know, I think it's going to really bring people together and help people explore their, you know, their fetishes in a rom-com sort of way. Another kind of weird thing that happened is that I started giving psychic readings during this time. I know it's like I'm all the like weird Jill of all weird trades. But, you know, I've always had a little bit of a psychic ability. And it turns out that when you have crippling depression and you can't pay your rent, it really helps bring out your psychic abilities, you know? So I'm like one of the top psychic advisors of New York City now. Who knew, you know? Totally weird. 2020 has just been like one kind of unexpected thing after another, you know? So another little strange thing about me is I have lupus, which don't worry, I'm okay. But it's actually really interesting because a lot of people don't know what lupus is. They just know it's like a bad thing. So it's usually like a really great way to get out of stuff, you know, like credit card bills and like sitting Shiva, you know, like anything you don't really want to deal with. Thankfully, I haven't had to do too much of that with quarantine because, you know, I'm mostly home. But I've still been able to use it to get things from people, you know, like I live down the street from a halfway house. So it's a really good way for me to get free drugs from some of the old druggies. So that's been kind of nice. I don't know if people say druggies anymore. I'm being very influenced by my mom, clearly, you know, being in Long Island. So, you know, I think because of clearly like a little bit of my shady past, I'm sorry, by the way, how much time do I have, Stuart?
About 30 seconds.
Okay, I'll make this fast, guys. So, because I sometimes have a shady past, I like to keep up with my health. So now that we're back in kind of doing things, I recently had a blood test and my doctor assistant called me afterwards and she's a real peach. She's like, "Is this Jessica Rotondi?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Your blood test shows you might have a fatal disease, but we don't tell you this on the phone. See you on Friday." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Yeah, they don't tell you this on the phone, guys. So I go and my doctor's not much better. He's not even looking at me. He's looking at my chart and he's like, "Oh, we think you have syphilis, but we're going to give you a second test to make sure." So I didn't know how to feel because I never had syphilis before. I know it seems like I might have, and I know that definitely some of the, male comics have, but I never have. So I didn't know how to feel, and as I was thinking about it, waiting for the second test result to come back, I kind of felt sexy, like what woman is getting syphilis these days, but like, a real pro, right? But then the second test came back negative and I just felt like I had a bad doctor. But now that we can kind of still go out, like outdoor and, under heat lamps and stuff, I think I'm going to try for chlamydia because I think that'll be like a nice little ego boost for me during this really weird year. Okay. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Stuart and Daniel. Thank you, everyone. You've been awesome.
Jessica Rotondi, thank you so much. Also, a quick plug for the Zoom Room. Tell us a little more about the Zoom Room.
So Kristen Seltman and I host it usually every other Friday. Our next one is going to be, I'm like so out of sorts with the date, not this coming Friday, but the one after. It's 8:00 Eastern time. We usually have some of the top comics in New York, sometimes comics from other cities too. And people can follow me and check it out. Jessie Roro 13, Twitter and Instagram.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jessie.
Thanks.
Of course. So Dan, one last quick check-in before our final act.
Yeah, so no real new shout outs to give, but I thought I would just give a shout out to our Facebook and YouTube pages. So if you like the show and you want to keep following it, you can do one of two things. You can like the Flower Shop Bangers on Facebook, or you can subscribe to us on YouTube. I actually did notice a slight influx of YouTube subscribers over the last couple of days, so I don't know if any of them are watching, but thank you. And yeah, that's just about all I got.
All right. Thank you so much, Dan. Also, improv tip jar is still hanging tight at $38. So if you'd like to donate to the tip jar, you are plenty welcome to do so. Bless you. Also want to mention that we do this every Sunday and Wednesday, and we'll be back in the new year, Sunday, January 3rd. If you can believe that, that's 4 days from now. Where our guests will be comedians Erica Switzer, Amanda Kakachi, and Carol Johnson. Plus, we'll be talking to the host of the Gentleman Grochowski Show, Larry Grochowski. Mm-hmm. So please make sure to check that out. We do this every Sunday, Wednesday at 7 Central, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific for all you California buddies. Without further ado, your final act of the evening are the co-hosts and co-producers of Semi-Regular Sundays, who until 9 months ago were hosting a show at Shakers on Clark in the Lakeview Boys Town area. They've been performing together for just a little under 8 years, and they have performed at improv festivals in cities as far-flung as Omaha, Nebraska, St. Louis, Missouri, Green Bay, Wisconsin, Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Baltimore, Maryland. They were also in the Yippee Virtual Arts Festival this past August. Please welcome to the show, Flower Shop Bangers.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If you look above, there is one more opportunity. I will keep this up for the whole one. This time, Stuart said it's not a competition. Now it is a competition. Give money to whoever you think is the funniest, as it says. All the donations will be distributed amongst all of the performers in the show. So yeah. Anyway, without further ado, we are the Flower Shop Bangers. We're going to do some improv for you, and we get weird with it.
can't see it.
I can't see it either. I don't know. I mean, it's supposed to be like, just 3 miles away, wasn't it? And we've gone 3 miles, haven't we?
Yeah, I think we've walked about 3 miles. Yeah.
Jeez, I can't believe it. I walked all this way. I mean, I don't know.
Maybe geocaching is not our thing.
Maybe it's not.
Yeah, it's like I just figured, okay, I was looking for something fun for us to do, and you know how much I love scavenger hunts.
I know.
You love mysteries and puzzles and all that, and
Yep.
I just thought it'd just be an opportunity to hang out. And okay, this
And geocache. Yeah, no, I get it. It seemed like a good idea, but ultimately, I don't know. Finding these coordinates is
yeah.
not easy.
Yeah, it's like I keep tripping up latitude and longitude. I mean, that's where I keep screwing up.
Yeah.
I always end up like everything we found so far, we're like 25 feet away from where it actually was.
I know, and we're supposed to be like right on top of it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Like, I'm pretty sure, let's see, this clue says, at this point, you will find everything you left behind. What?
Huh?
Huh?
Everything you left behind.
Everything you left behind.
Okay, so this has to be a riddle.
Yeah, it sounds like a riddle.
Everything that you left behind.
Everything you left behind.
Let's see. You two had an album called All That You Can't Leave Behind.
Okay. So you think it might have to do with you two? You two. Wait, there are two of us here.
Yes, there are two of us. Yeah. Okay.
And you two left behind. Wait a minute. We're in the middle of nowhere.
Damn
That's the clue.
That's the clue. We're in the middle of nowhere.
You two are left behind.
We are left behind. Okay.
We are left behind. We have nowhere to go. Maybe they've already taken off with our car that we left 3 miles that way.
Yeah, on the other side of that pasture there.
I know, seriously. Maybe this was just all a ploy, just to steal our Camry.
Yeah, okay. I'm thinking behind.
Behind, I don't know.
Is another word for ass.
Ass.
Maybe
or
there's
the
like
trunk of a car. I don't know.
It could be a donkey or something.
Yeah.
It could be behind.
I don't know.
Behind us.
Behind us, behind you, behind me, behind the screen door.
Oh, excuse me.
Excuse you, yes.
Colin.
Bless
oh my
you.
God, I should have taken some Claritin before we left.
Mm-hmm.
Why did we have to do this in April too?
I don't know, Doug. I don't know.
Right at the middle of allergy season.
I know, yes, right in the middle of allergy season. I mean, it didn't seem like a great idea. It seemed like a great, bonding activity for us to do together, I guess. I don't know. We haven't had a chance to hang out in what? 6 months?
Yeah, about 6 months.
Yeah.
I mean,
ever since you had the baby?
Since I had the baby and you started a new job.
Yeah, I know. It's it's been a little bit, but we're both on our journeys, and I accept that. We're not gonna. I don't know. We're not gonna meet at the bar every Friday night.
Right.
That had to come to an end, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, it's like I actually feel a lot fitter having kind of I haven't quit drinking per se, but I've kind of scaled back.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel a lot more energy, and it comes in handy, having to, tend to an infant.
That's true. Yeah, no, I gotcha. Yeah, no, you have a lot of responsibility now.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we were in the hospital together. Do you remember how much of a nervous wreck I was?
You were a nervous wreck. I gotcha. And some of that might have had to do with alcohol or just the fact that you're generally a nervous person.
Yeah, I mean, hey, remember when I asked you to go across the street to the liquor store?
Yes, I do remember.
Goodness, it doesn't feel like it was that long ago. I can't believe it's been 6 months.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, it's been a bit.
Yeah.
So how is little Tommy?
Oh, Tommy's great. He's growing like a weed.
I know. I'm sure he is. He's growing quite a bit.
Yeah. It's like, remember, my wife wouldn't even let me be in the living room. He made me, you may remember we were like waiting outside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had to get special clearance for you because you were a friend and not a family member.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
they're pretty strict about that. You know, you can't.
Yeah.
You have to be you have to be related by blood,
Yeah.
not related by years of friendship ever since
Mhm.
college.
Yeah, I mean, you've got kids too, and I get it.
I
get it.
do. Yeah, no, it's
Okay, let's just face the music here. We're kind of we're deviating. We don't understand like how geocache works. I feel like you know more about geocache than I do.
I mean, it's a thing, geocaching.
Yeah, I mean, I bought the Groupon.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no, I gotcha. It's I mean, and I did it once before this, but quite honestly, it was with my friend Larry, and he just kind of did all of it, and I just was along for the ride.
No, I totally understand, Phil.
Yeah.
I totally understand. Ugh.
I mean, Doug, maybe I came under false pretenses, you thinking that I was like some geocaching expert, but
Well, compared to me, you are.
I guess so. I know how to turn it on, and I know how to put in the coordinates, and I know how to follow directions ish. I mean, do you think that was really the crew? Do you think someone like stole our Camry? Because that wouldn't be good.
No, that would not be.
No.
It's like we're not even in a part of the state I'm familiar with. I mean, we're out in Dixon, Illinois.
Yeah, I know. I gotcha. I have no idea what this place is either.
Yeah, it's like I know that this town has a lot of history. Ulysses S. Grant used to live here, but I don't really know much else about the town.
It's Dixon, Illinois. I don't. Who knows about Dixon, Illinois? Maybe like the people who live in Dixon. I don't know if the people in Dixon know the history of Dixon, Illinois.
Yeah, I mean, true. I mean, you've got the Ulysses S. Grant house, and that's about it. I mean, there's not. I mean, I guess they built artillery in the Civil War or something.
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay. We need to figure out behind. Okay, because we're competing with a bunch of other people here, and we're just okay.
I know. This is like a non-televised Amazing Race, basically, is what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Except that it's boring and it kind of goes in circles. No offense.
I gotcha. Yeah, no, it's.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Behind. Maybe we should look behind that tree.
Worth a shot.
Okay. Yes. Okay. All right.
Wait. Look behind the tree. I found an envelope.
Oh, okay. What does it say?
$36.2 latitude, 42.8 longitude.
Okay. Okay, what's
Ask for Chuck.
Ask for Chuck. Okay.
Do you think we leave this here for the next person so that they can find it, or should we just take it with us?
Yeah, leave it under the tree.
Okay, I'll leave it under the tree. I think that's
phone, so we remember the coordinates. Again, because I keep tripping at latitude and longitude.
I gotcha. Yeah, no, I gotcha. I'll type it in. And it sounds like we just got to walk 3 miles back to our Camry, or maybe it's really close by. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? It's my God, it's 1.5 miles away. What are you thinking?
Let's walk.
Yeah, let's walk.
I mean,
we already have to walk 3 miles back to the thing. Yeah, I know. It's we might as well.
What, 7,500, 7,600 feet? I mean,
something like that.
Yeah. All right. Really, it is nice out today.
Yeah.
I'm just afraid I'm gonna get. I'm not gonna get to save the whole thing. I get congested in early April.
So you and Judy, have you thought about going for number 2?
Not yet. I don't think she feels ready yet.
I gotcha. That makes sense. You're really getting used to the one. It's only been 6 months. You should probably take your time.
Are you and Phoebe thinking about number 4?
No, quite honestly. No, that's not happening. You have to realize, I've gotten a vasectomy at this point.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
wow.
no, I got it last month.
You got the snip.
Yeah, I got the snip. I am no longer going to have children. It's not that, I love my children, but no more.
No, I get it. I get it. I mean, it makes sense because there's all these misconceptions about, getting a vasectomy or getting your tubes tied.
Yeah.
And it just, you have the option of like cauterizing, or you can do it where it's like it's temporary, but whenever you're ready, you can, undo it or what have you. I mean, I've read up on this.
I gotcha. Yeah.
Really tell I've read up on this. There's a lot of half truths and a lot of myths about that. It's not like you're being castrated.
No, and it was fine.
Yeah,
it was honestly fine.
I mean, that is your body. You can do whatever the hell you want with it.
Yeah. And I did. I went out and I got it. I mean, yeah. Granted, I mean, we talked about it for a while. We decided it was probably best that I just do this, and I did it.
All the power to you. All the power to you. Okay, so now I have to make sure. So latitude goes up and down. It goes north-south.
Yeah.
Longitude goes east-west. It's longitude. That's where I get tripped up because
I believe you're right. But I just typed it into the geocache, into the GPS, and so I actually don't 100% know, if I'm being honest. I just, typed in what the latitude coordinate was and what the longitude coordinate was into this GPS, and I'm seeing where it leads us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing that I have to ask you about. You can get covered out here?
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm using up data, I'm going to have to pay an extra $15 a month with the data.
Oh, really? That sucks, man. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, we're so far in the woods, there's obviously not going to be a Wi-Fi signal.
Yeah, I know. Lord. I mean, this is kind of, this is out in the middle of nowhere.
Okay, so 3642, look for Chuck.
Ask for Chuck. Ask for Chuck. I think we're still like a mile away.
Well, it could be Woodchuck. Or it could be a guy named Charles who has
could be a guy named Charles.
Okay, Chuck Norris, Chuck Barris, Chuck Woolery,
Chuck up.
Up Chuck. There's vomit. I see vomit.
Oh my God, vomit.
Yes. Someone clearly just threw up here, like in the last. It looks kind of fresh, so I would stay away from.
I mean, do you think that's a clue, or do you think someone just puked here?
Yeah,
it smells really bad.
Yeah. Oh goodness.
I mean, according to the GPS, it seems like we still have a little ways to walk, so this could be the clue, or I don't know. Well, actually, no. It sounds like we're right here. You don't think we have to go digging through it, do you?
God, I hope not.
I mean, this is a pretty obscure clue, but the last one was pretty obscure too.
Look up. It's tied to the branch.
Oh.
Dude, you're like 7 inches taller than me.
I know. I can. 64.2 longitude, 1,042 latitude.
1,042.
1,042.
That has to be a typo.
You think so?
Yeah, I was gonna say because I thought latitude stopped at 180.
Maybe.
Or maybe the decimal point is off.
I don't know.
Okay, so 102. Oh my God, that's gonna put us like in Malaysia or something.
Maybe. I mean, that sounds like it's really fun.
Walking to Malaysia.
Why not? Let's walk to Malaysia. That's our show.
Oh, thank you so much to all of our performers, to Jessica Rotondi, to Edd Fairman, to Brian Sebby, and to Ian Lasky. Thank you to everyone who has tuned into all of our remote shows in 2020. We honestly weren't sure how this was going to work when we did our first remote show in late March. And I like to think that not only have we built an audience across the continent, but we've made new friends in new cities, and we hope to meet you all someday. Dan, thank you so much for being our web guy for all 73 of these shows. And we're going to just keep doing this until whenever the bars and the restaurants reopen at full capacity. And of course, thank you to you, our audience. We sincerely appreciate it. This is not goodbye by any means. We'll be back here in 4 days. I'm just, it's the end of the year, and I'm just reflecting. But nevertheless, in the meantime, please wash your hands. Please stay a minimum 6 feet away from strangers and acquaintances. Believe women. Black Lives Matter. Thank you so much. We'll see you on January 3rd. Have a good night. Happy New Year.